Hey, how's it going, everybody? I saw a cool post by Brian, our admin, on the MetaX community page today that said his top 5 characters. So I figured I would do a video since I'm having fun doing these now and show you my top 5 characters right now and give you a little explanation why. So, coming in at number 5 is Blue Beetle. This guy breaks one of the major rules of the game, which is that you can only play one character per turn. I think he's a little better than Ras Al Ghul because Ras Al Ghul needs you to have guys already be dead, and he himself is not 5 or less. So the Blue Beetle could do something really cool where you could Blue Beetle into another Blue Beetle into a third character and fill up to 10 MP completely and just really start the game running. He fits into a lot of themes. You can cheat out just about 60% of the characters that are in the game right now, all with great abilities. Constantine is one of the few cards that shuts him off, but that's a fair trade when that's one card, and this guy can go in so many designs where Constantine really has to have a deck built around him. This guy can just kind of be tossed into any deck that wants to get guys on the board. So, Blue Beetle, number 5. Coming at number 4 is Ultra Rare Batman. Though he only gives you 2 MP, his ability to either screw your opponent or stack your own deck is really good. He says, when he comes into play, look at the top 3 cards of a player's deck. Put one of them in the discard pile, and then put the other 2 on top in any order. So you can really mess with your opponent. You know, if he hasn't been throwing attacks at you and it's clear that he doesn't have battle cards, dropping this guy and looking at your opponent's deck and discarding the battle card that was going to be their next draw and stacking 2 more characters when they're already character locked is really feel bad. Also, sometimes you do get screwed and you're out of options, so being able to Batman and get rid of another character you don't need or find the character you do need is a really cool thing. The versatility there is great. He fits into mill decks as well because your opponent is usually scrambling for the things that they need in a mill deck to try to recover, and so Batman being able to target their events, or anybody's events for that matter, is really good. Right now there's no real way to reuse events, so killing your opponent's rebirths and their sleight of hands and their reinforcements and their evil parades, they're not getting those back. So that's one. Batman comes in at 4. He might even start to move up higher on the list. At 3, I've got Uncommon Harley Quinn. Her triple stats are really sweet for what she does. She can throw really good intelligence attacks and really good special attacks. There's a couple of strength attacks she can throw, but I'm not usually trying to throw those with her because these other ones get to a really nice spot. She gives you 3 MP when she comes into play. She's cheated in by Blue Beetle. And her ability to just attack and block frivolously is incredible. She shortens games, right? I mean, you have to use your removal answers on her, because if not, your opponent is just going to get more and more victory points as you don't block her, or you're just going to have to bite the bullet and give them a victory point. She really makes for some odd decision making on your opponent's end, and that's why I really like her. Coming at number 2, I've got Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is a really unique card. He says when he comes into play, you can KO him to get a random card from your opponent's victory pile and place it in your hand. So this guy says heal 1 damage, basically, when nothing else in this game says heal 1 damage. I have a deck profile with Dr. Fate and Sleight of Hand, and it uses rebirths and reinforcements and stacking heroes, and the whole point is to heal your entire victory pile back from Dr. Fate. him in junction with Sleight of Hand means you look at your victory pile, pick the card you want, put Sleight of Hand there, play Dr. Fate, get that Sleight of Hand back, so that the next turn you can let your opponent attack you again and take it and play a Sleight of Hand and get the card back, play a new character. You do have to be a little bit careful, though, because he gives you no MP and you sacrifice him most of the time when you play him, so he leaves an empty board space. But in this game, as you may have seen so far, is that's not a bad thing all the time, especially if he's healing you against like a Spike Nightwing deck or a Spike Harley deck that can get 3 victory points really fast. Going from 4 to 3 is really nice if you know you're going to be able to stop at least for another turn to hopefully dig it for cards to reuse Dr. Fate to play to go from 3 to 2, and all of a sudden that deck just lost a lot of steam. No one else has an effect like this. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of appearances he makes, because he seems good in a lot of stuff. I think he might be fun to pair alongside Blue Beetle, to cheat out your wimpy dudes and then Dr. Fate heal everything and put the Dr. Fates back and make sure you're always spiking out dudes and Dr. Fating. That could be fun. Coming in at number 1 is Firestorm. Firestorm gives you 2 MP when he comes into play, and his power says push to KO himself to KO another character. This guy's really good. Playing him on turn 1, he's got a really nice stat line. He can perform Special 6 and below. Special 6 is a great card, and the Special Suite is actually really nice from 6 below. So him being able to block on any of that stuff, if your opponent has an attacker before he uses effect, is great. Strength 3 has some cool options, but usually you're performing specials with him. But the nice thing is playing this guy on turn 1 just like really shuts down your opponent's entire strategy, because now whatever they play, if they drop that Harley they want to copy, or they drop that Nightwing, you're just going to kill it. They drop their Control Constantine, they drop their shutdown cards, they drop their Doomsdays. You have the answer already on the board. So your opponent plays around it, normally, which means then the next turn, Firestorm just gets to attack while you play another card and wait for your opponent to play the problem card. So Firestorm a lot of times gets you 1 or 2 victory points in a game before your opponent plays into the fact that you're gonna kill their card. A lot of times you end up Firestorming Firestorms to protect your board because he's so good. I'm a big fan of Firestorm, and I think he's going to be in 70% of the decks. He seems like MVP right now. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Am I right? What are your top 5? Let us know. Thanks.